Hey everyone, so the hobby is here again, and today we will wash the engine of our 2024 Nissan Navara, or it is known more as engine wash. So some of you might ask, is it okay to use a pressure washer? I wouldn't recommend pressure washer. For me actually, because the logic behind that is these sensors are sealed. It has a rubber gaskets, even the ignition coil if you have gasoline engines. You don't want the high pressure water to force or any water or residues or moist against the gaskets. So tap water pressure, but again, it depends if your tap water pressure is really high, so you have to be adjusting it and match it up on what I will show you later in this video. So basically, you don't really have to cover anything with plastic because instead of keeping your engine safe, you might forget the plastic when you start up the engine, and that will cause you damage rather than keeping it safe for your car's engine. So let's check first the items or tools that we need in this process. So first, we need our dishwashing soap that will act as our degreaser, or if you have any brand's degreaser or soap, you can use that as well. Second is a soft bristle brush. It is really crucial to use soft bristles to avoid scratches on your engine's plastics or any parts of your engine. Flashlight, rag, a dry rag, and also if you have compressor or if you invested, and I would suggest to recommend investing on a blower instead of a compressor because compressor is a little bit expensive compared to a blower. So first step is to rinse the engine in preparation on application of our dishwashing soap or our degreaser. So the next step is, of course, you
At ikaw
have to
dyan, ba't di
put
ka
some
magbasa?
degreaser or dishwashing soap on your soft bristle brush and brush all the parts where you think there's an oil
Engine
residues, dirt,
wash.
or any stubborn dirts or anything that you think that needs to be
Yeah,
brushed off.
it's
So,
dirty.
as you can see right there, I'm brushing it carefully without putting too much pressure on the brush because I don't want any scratches on the engine bay as much as possible. So if there's any quick tip that I can give you is you don't have to push your brush to reach the areas that it can't reach because there's a possibility that you can damage some parts of it, especially if the obstruction is a wire or harness or any sensor parts that is very sensitive. Because you don't really need a super clean engine. As much as possible, we can like make the top area of the engine clean and remove some oil residues. And basically, that is the goal. You don't need to be to have a shiny engine because it doesn't make sense because it will get dirtier after a month or two or maybe a week depending on your area. So after all of the brushing, you can now rinse again your engine and use your soft bristle brush to remove the stubborn dirts if it's necessary. Then after that, I can now turn on my air compressor or if you have a blower or Bosch blower, any brand, as long as it is a strong blower, then you can use that. So now let's proceed and blow compressed air to our engine bay. So the goal here is not to dry the engine completely because first that is impossible to do or achieve because there will be moisture and remaining water residues even if you use compressed air. So the main goal here is to remove water as much as we can because on the latter part of this video, we will let the engine heat dry the rest of the water residues naturally. So before starting the engine, we will wipe off all of the moisture residues on the parts that we can
Wait
reach. We don't
lang.
really have to force ourselves to reach the areas because we will, again, as I mentioned earlier, we will let the engine heat dry it off. Of course, before I forget, we have to get the engine cover and clean it up as well. So once the engine cover is already dry, it's time to reinstall it. And one technique that I learned is I put some soap on the brackets just to make sure that I can install it gracefully instead of forcing the clips and avoiding it to snap. And if you snap the clips, it will cause engine vibration sounds. So the final step is to start the engine and let it run for a while and let it reach its normal operating temperature. So what we're trying to achieve here is to use that heat and let the moisture dry or remove that heat itself will remove the moisture or remaining water residues from the engine bay. So let me show you the before and after of the engine wash. But before that, some of you might ask why I'm not using any chemicals to make my engine bay shinier. I really don't really like using that, especially on the age of the car. It's still new. It's just a 1 year old car, and also some chemicals might cause your engine plastics or rubbers harm instead of you really taking care of it. So yeah, I wanted it to look like natural, based on its age, and I think it's good because the goal here is to clean the engine bay. We're not really using it for a show. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, if you wanted to discuss something in terms of engine wash procedure, please feel free to leave your comment below.